The content presented is for entertainment purposes only. Some content may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Have you ever thought about your mental health? Have you thought about stress, anxiety, and other special, wonderful things? Well, you've come to the right place. Hello, everybody. JayReims here with the Periodic Review. We're doing our lovely podcast tonight, so hope y'all enjoy. We here with my other two co-hosts.
Hi, your wife.
And my... I'm okay, whatever.
Hi.
This is
Your
my
mom.
wife,
Your mom.
Rianne. Co-host 1. Co-host 2, my best friend, Mr. Alakai.
Your mom.
I feel like we should have
Welcome, you guys.
discussed the intro, maybe.
Yeah, I tried to discuss the intro.
Now he's getting argumentative.
Introducing your mom.com, where everybody wants to visit.
Okay.
So anyways,
So, anywho, we're talking about stress. Why are we talking about stress? Because I have an exorbitant amount of it.
Let's talk about stress, baby. Let's talk about
You
me
and me.
and me and all my problems and all
about stress.
Let's talk about all the problems in
So,
my pocket.
you guys are funny.
Oh, there's nothing in my pocket. That's the problem.
That's what she said.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway.
It's good to
So-
see you guys.
Yeah.
I missed you all.
How could you
I
miss me?
can't
You live
see
with
any
me.
of you, so but I missed you anyway.
Tell your mom we love her.
What?
Tell your mom we say hi.
And tell your sister I said hi too. I know
So I
know
feel
you
like
may
this
not have one, but
podcast
ask your mom in 9 months.
I feel like this podcast is going to be a lot of this happening, apparently. Okay, no, seriously.
'Kay.
Let's get on topic.
All right, let's get
So,
on topic.
Rianne.
Topic even.
Rianne, why choose to talk about stress?
So, well, because stress actually impacts. Stress can impact a lot of things, especially like our physical health, right? And it's tied to our hormones, so it affects so many things in our life.
Mhm.
Mental clarity, all that sort of stuff. Too much cortisol in the body is not a good thing. Well, what causes stress? Well, it's the fight or flight, all this sort of stuff. And over the last 2 years, we have been in like a constant state of stress,
Yeah.
right? I mean, with COVID and then
The lockdowns, the
election.
mandates, the election.
and then like the
Not to mention
January
that
6th.
people that are like quarantining together have like no chance to get any space or breaks from each other.
Right.
So-
So it's like you have the relationship stress and then work stress and everything. And so what brought this up is because I obviously am not like in my ideal health state. Like I want to be back to where I was in the 20s at least in my 20s, which is totally possible because I see people who are like super fit and everything more in their 40s than they were in their 20s even.
Yeah, me too. Mind blowing how that
So,
works though.
Yeah.
Like
So I started doing some research and everything because I've tried all these different freaking diets and even the ones that are supposed to be super, super effective and everything like keto and all that stuff. My body does not react the same way.
mm-hmm.
So I went and got all my hormones tested and they're like, oh yeah, you definitely have a hormonal imbalance. I'm like, great. Well, what does that mean? Like, how do we fix it? Here, we'll give you some of these, and they prescribe you hormones. Well, my body hates synthetic hormones. Like, it has the opposite reaction. Like, it's less effective. And so I was doing some research and, like, based off of body type, symptoms, all that sort of stuff, there's, like, women are affected by stress so much more than men. because we had, like, evolutionary wise, we had to know the level of stress in our body, let us know if it was okay to get pregnant or not. So, like, yeah, so that's a big thing. And I'm like, oh, no wonder why we've struggled, is because, like, I've been in a constant state of stress, like, all the time. And then with work and all these situations, like external factors, and how that impacts, like, even the mental health and everything.
Right.
And so I started taking this quiz, and it talks about how for women to lose weight, they have to manage stress, and even to manage their, like, mental health.
Because it's so easy.
What? To manage, right? Exactly.
Just do it.
And so, and with the industry that I work in, where we see and hear a lot of hard things, I don't personally, because I don't work directly with survivors, but just the topic matter itself is hard and stressful.
Right.
So we talk a lot about self-care in my industry, and I'm like, well, what is self-care? What does that even mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's such a complicated thing, though, because there's so many aspects to it. There's, like, the whole physical, emotional, mental, and even, like, the spiritual aspects of it that people don't really think about.
Right. Well, and
like,
that's what's really hard, is because what may work for one person doesn't work for another.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people are like, I'm going to take a bubble bath and I feel much better.
Camera shot to me really quick, because I'm having the time of my life. Hi, sweeties.
Because I've had the time of my life.
Sorry about that, Rihanna. I just had
That's
to
okay.
Never
inject that
felt
there.
this way
Speaking
before.
of, okay, Jacob.
This for me right now, I'm
Pets.
getting loads of self-care.
See,
I
and that's
am.
the thing. And, like, so, like, the emotional support animals are a real thing. Like, these two mitigate my anxiety a ton.
I don't doubt that at all.
And when Jacob, like, complains because they pee and poop and all that stuff, I'm like, I don't care. It's my mental sanity or the pee or poop. Like, I'm sorry, I'm choosing my mental sanity.
That's interesting.
This is more of a spiritual type of self-care for me, because I have a whole view on dogs and how, like, they're actually our soulmates in some kind of way.
Oh, for sure.
You're my soulmate.
Aw.
Okay, that's
I'm
weird.
talking to Rianne, dude. What are you?
Shut up.
That was totally directed at Rianne.
No, it wasn't. I know it was totally directed to Alakai.
It was not. It was totally directed at you.
Shut up.
Have
You guys have a total
have you ever,
bromance, it's
Have
fine.
you ever considered Eeyore the side hoe?
Oh, God.
Eeyore the side. What?
Have you ever heard that term? Sorry,
I have
don't
not. What is that? Please explain.
I don't want to get off the topic of stress and mental health. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I totally.
We'll
just
save that
wanna-
for another topic.
So finish what your thought was before I interrupted and
Started
made it all
singing about
weird.
time of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like,
So you're talking about the dogs.
right, because they help provide
And
self-care for me.
Okay.
So the thing is like, we talk about all these different things for self-care. I've tried multiple things, but I notice when I get so overstressed, like, nothing works because I'm so overstimulated. Even, like, those typical, like, mindful things that I've done, like, almost, like, rub my skin the wrong way sometimes. That's
Okay.
how I can describe. But I know they work because I've used them before.
Oh.
Right? So it's really weird. Like, stress, if I'm super, super stressed and overwhelmed, it's like all I want to do is shut down.
Yeah.
And everything. And I'm just thinking, how much of that is because I'm on social media? I watch news. I, like, try and stay up to date with the political scene and everything.
So it's funny you bring up the whole fight or flight thing, because right there, that's another one that a lot of people are starting to talk more about, but didn't really before. Freeze.
Yeah.
Like,
I freeze. Like, totally, like, shut down.
or I heard a term used for it called like feeling flooded. Like, your brain is just taking in so much, there's so much input that you don't really know how to process it, and the flood of information and stress is just like,
so you just, like, completely shut down, so you're not.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Well, and the thing is I realize like I have established habits that cause me to be in stress, and I heard somewhere that you can actually be addicted to stress.
Yeah.
Is that like
You
the
can be-
idea of a
because-
workaholic?
Yeah, so you can be addicted to different hormones, right? Because like
Hey, Sarah, welcome to the channel.
so hormones are addictive in a certain way, like that's why like drugs are they mess with your endocrine system when you do drugs and everything, and that's what causes that addictive hold.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like feeling addicted to marijuana. It's just like, because things just feel so much easier to deal with when you're stoned.
Yes,
Because then it's just like nothing phases you. And I realized that because last week, like with finals and work going on, like I've felt like normally that's around the time that I get the most amount of stress, but because I've been smoking like every single day for the last couple weeks, I just haven't been stressed at all. So it's like
but then when does it become an unhealthy
Coping mechanism.
mechanism? That's the other
thing. It becomes
thing.
unhealthy when you take too much of that. And then it's
so
like,
here's the thing, because you you can't physically be like physiologically, marijuana is not addictive, but it is addictive mentally and emotionally, right?
Yeah, that's why they say that you can't be addicted to it, but you can become
Like your body won't physiologically go through withdrawals from
you can become
chemical,
dependent
but
on it.
you can become mentally and emotionally dependent on it.
Yeah.
So there is a dependency. But like with other things like alcohol, heroin, and some of these hardcore opioids and stuff, you can't just quit cold turkey because it could literally kill you.
Right.
Right? Marijuana won't kill you to like stop it.
sorry.
Those darn dogs. They're going crazy.
Hey, calm down.
The dogs are...
They're stressing us out.
Yo, come on, be a lover, not a fighter.
They're having some fun.
It's every 6:30. Yep. This is
This is their time.
This is between 6 and 7 is when Starbuck is like
Yeah.
Anyway.
They've been sleeping and chilling all day, and it's like, it's time to play.
Oh
and
my
he
goodness. Now
stresses
It's
out.
usually when Mama
Boomer.
comes home.
Oh, sorry guys. We got to introduce our special guest on the podcast.
This is that one's
Special
Boomer.
guest.
Well, it doesn't matter. The one that
They're
Boomer and
fighting,
Starbuck.
They're fighting right now, so
Yeah,
they're not
the little Chihuahua Terriers, Starbuck, and
the old miniature pincher with 3 teeth is Boomer.
that's Boomer. Yeah.
He's like the old man that's like, dear, like.
Hey,
please.
Direwolf, welcome.
All right, let's reel this back in. So going back to, it's not addictive, but you
can become dependent on it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I utilize the marijuana for when I get migraines, right? I actually have a prescription, so because migraines are so hard, but my migraines are legitimately stress-induced.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, and I'm realizing the older I get and the more I haven't changed those habits that induce stress. Okay, stop it. Weirdos. And so I haven't changed those habits, but now it's like because these last 2 years have been so intense, like outside of my normal day life, but like even with just the external factors going on, the ability to manage the stress and not get overwhelmed and then depressed and then like completely shut down has gotten so much harder. And so and they have all these apps now, right? That are like calm and mindful, whatever.
Like mindfulness kind of applications that give you like tones or
do you guys
meditation
use
meditations?
Do you guys
and stuff
actually
like
utilize any of those, and are any of them helpful?
So I've tried using them and it's not necessarily helpful. And in fact, I think all it does, and maybe it does help, but like therapy is all starting to go online now, and like things are.
I don't like that at all.
See, and that's what's hard for me because it's like,
and it's so expensive.
We're trying to cure the issue by causing more disconnection and causing more like separation,
So
Yeah.
which causes stress. And like, because, so I don't know if those apps are a feasible solution.
So it's really hard because, like, wow, I had a whole ass thought, and my brain decided to turn off, fart, and forget everything that I was about to say.
You had a complete mental dump.
Yet another symptom of stress.
Well, while you're
Talking
thinking
about the
on
apps
that,
and therapy.
I'll talk a little bit about applications and stuff, because I've so it's been kind of the last couple of weeks I've been like overly anxious and stressed, and I'm just like, I haven't really done much different other than, you know, adding live streaming, but I've been doing that for almost 2 months. So I'm just like, it can't be that. And then I realized how often I'm opening up my phone to look and see if like I had any new subscribers, any new follows, any new likes, any new comments. Like literally, I don't know, 5 to 10 times a day, something like that. I'm looking at my phone to see like our progression and stuff. And I was like freaking out, because it's like, if I didn't get that fix, then I was like, it was like making me struggle even more. And so I took the opportunity just this past weekend, and I uninstalled all of my applications. I was just like, F this. I am not going to deal with this anymore. And you know what? I slept so well last night. I didn't want to get out of bed this morning.
Oh my gosh, you slept for like 12 hours.
I had not slept for 12 hours straight.
My thought has come back.
For a long time.
Okay, Jacob.
All right, go ahead,
thought.
Mr. Alakay.
So the use of technology has created such like a vast convenience for us. It's a tool that us college students use for school. Thanks, Google. Shout out to Google. So, and Google, and then there's a social media aspect where you can conveniently just talk to your friends and just see what they're up to anytime that you want.
Like
Or
Google
be a
Hangout
complete
or-
creeper and stalk people.
Absolutely true.
You mean on Facebook?
But then again, this can, like, the convenience is also something that takes away from the things that force us to go out of our way to actually do things like create long-lasting relationships, or go to the movie theater instead of stream, or go shopping instead of look on Amazon. The convenience takes away from little things that like create opportunities for us.
Right.
We're losing those opportunities because we have the shit that we want right in front of us at any given moment.
Right.
So.
Well, and here's the thing. The technology and the advent of the internet and stuff has been great in a lot of ways, in creating an avenue out of poverty for a lot of people, in creating opportunities to have access to education where they wouldn't normally be able to. So there's so many positives, but at the same time,
especially we have such crappy teachers. I mean, that's
okay.
It's the imbalance.
But the opportunity for imbalance and the opportunity that it takes away those simple interactions, like even just sharing space with somebody. When you are in the same room with somebody, their energy still affects you, right? Like you can tell. You walk into a room where somebody has just had a massive fight and you can feel it. Right? Like,
back to my theory from last week, you have a scar in time and you can literally feel what's happening or what's just happened.
There you go.
Go watch our last episode.
But it's very interesting because it's like it's taken that opportunity away. So then stressors are so much faster and immediate and everything. And I think that we've lost touch as a society, not everybody. We've lost touch on how to maintain that balance. And that's why we're seeing so many people like start doing this whole RV life thing. And
I want to do that life thing.
Right? Like, so it's almost like our society is starting to turn back to a simpler time where they didn't have the responsibility of these big, huge houses or big, huge, like, and they're doing it. So it's kind of weird. Technology is kind of allowing that to evolve, but at the same time, I think it's causing an erosion as well. Like, Twitter is incredibly toxic.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly toxic.
You can't have an opinion on Twitter without just getting completely shit on by a lot of different people.
So, for a few months, I deleted Snapchat and Instagram. I just recently got Instagram back, or not Instagram. I recently got Snapchat back. Not really using it a whole lot. I used it to advertise for this episode though.
Good job.
Thank you.
But even just like not having Instagram on my phone, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want
That
a
was
fun
totally-
fact?
What's up?
So yesterday, Jacob's like, I deleted all this stuff off my phone. I'm like, good for you. Bathroom time literally cut by 75%.
I will say.
She,
Wow. I
she
will
hears
say,
muffled behind the door. I don't know what to do while I'm pooping.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real.
And it happens so much faster.
I still have like TikTok and Facebook, and I still mindlessly will scroll through TikTok, but I love just watching the funny shit, like the stuff that doesn't really mean anything, but it's like I don't have to tie like my friendship or my self-worth to any of that. It's just
Right.
it's funny. It's funny shit to watch. So I mean,
Well, and that's the other thing is like I come home and like, what do I watch on my phone?
TikTok.
I do. I put on TikTok because I usually follow all the little farms that have all the goats and the pigs and the ducks and the chickens and the emus
And
named Karen. And like, I don't know any of the handles of the people that I watch, but I just know I watch them all because it makes me happy. I love freaking animal videos. And then husband and wife stuff comes up all the time.
dad jokes.
Dad jokes. So it does like, I'm like, is that self-care? But at the same time, I don't think that is self-care. I think it's a false sense of self-care, right? Like, because the more time we spend in front of screens, like people say, oh, it's self-care to watch this or do this. And I'm like, is it though? Is it really?
So like even if you do like the meditation stuff or the
Right. Like even if you're doing
mindfulness,
like that's
like
where,
yeah.
yeah.
See, and
don't
I've
know.
actually started getting into the mindset too of like I don't know that I necessarily view my time as playing video games as self-care. I just view it as like taking a break from the world.
Okay. So,
Like-
and
Yeah, for me it's escapism. Like I want to like
Okay.
disconnect.
yeah, so that's a difference, right? So like that's what social media provides as well. It's an escape. It's a way to numb out. So
Yeah.
people will numb out and escape with certain things, right? You can escape and numb out with heroin, or you can do it sitting in front of a screen watching goats and pigs and horses and crying over shit like that.
Do you guys remember
Yeah.
bringing? Do you guys remember when I brought up? I think it was either a couple episodes ago or it was just us talking. But I brought up like the comparison between like the age restrictions between like alcohol. Yet there's no age restrictions like with social media. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
So-
yeah, I think there is some kind of child protection care thing, and they have to be at least 13 to sign up.
No,
on
Child
Just-
protection, my ass. These parents are giving their kids cell phones when they're 9 years old.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
worse.
know.
Did you know
I
the
know.
average age for a boy to be exposed to pornography is 8?
I have heard that, and that is
That's the new average.
hearing that.
That is
broke,
the average age.
Hearing that broke my heart. Like,
Wow.
Well, and the thing that's so scary to me is like they have access to it. They figure out ways around it. I mean, we had a kid.
check this box to say that you're 18.
Right. That's all that's required. Oh, just click a mouse. Oh, yes, I'm over the age of 18. It's not that hard to figure out for kids. But the thing that bothers me the most is social media screens. I don't care if it's social media or anything. Like, we weren't designed to sit and look at screens for hours and hours and hours and hours.
We were meant to explore the world.
Right.
We are, like when we're born, our brains are hardwired to be curious.
Right.
So it's like, sure, a screen will provide you some curiosity, but I mean, like, there's so much in the environment around you
Yeah.
and the relationships that you could be building with the people around you.
So what's interesting, it's true though. It is so true. Cause like, I remember me growing up, I was a latchkey kid cause I'm a Gen Xer on the tail end, a younger Gen Xer, but I was a latchkey
So,
kid and
It looks like the average boys being exposed to pornography is as early as, or the average is age 13. Appa.org. news.edu, uh.edu.
Okay, so can I finish my thought now, Jacob?
But they have as young as 5 years old.
Okay, so I'm going to finish my thought now. Love you. But as a latchkey kid, like, I grew up watching TV while I did homework. And having, like, people conversating, and, like, that for me became the comfort, right? Like, and now it's to the point where I have a hard time keeping certain parts of my mind focused unless I have somebody talking in the background. Not music, but, like, talking or TV and stuff. And that is not healthy, and I hate that. But that was, like, what I kind of grew up on. And I'm wondering, like, what's going to, like, this kids today that are growing up with all the social media and everything, how is that affecting their brain development and their ability to cope? My hope,
I have a big hope for this too. I don't know if this will ever happen, but, like, it's a hope, is that future generations, sooner rather than later, kids will discover what this is actually doing to them. And, like, what this, like, where this is, like, the directions that this is leading them. My hope is that they'll learn from that mistake and find some kind of algorithm, some kind of way to get us all out of that.
But I don't know. Like, because
I don't know how it's going to happen, but I mean,
you have Elon Musk doing the whole put a computer chip in your brain and, like, being able to connect to the metaverse and everything. I don't know,
want that shit.
But that's where it's headed. And it's almost like if you don't want it, you have to disconnect so incredibly completely because it's all around you all the time, 100%. And that's hard.
Shit, I work in front of the computer all day to go home and look at a computer all night.
For homework, right?
For homework, for video games, for TV. Like,
yeah, see, and that's the thing. I realized my stress was screens are a big stressor for me. I'm realizing. And the more time I spend in front of them, the more irritable I get. And it doesn't even have to be social media. You know, but, like, the stress is big. So
you know what's crazy? Is, like, it even takes away, like, little interactions too. Like, when you guys go into a meeting or something, like, I notice when I've gone into a lot of meetings, like, a lot of people are just sitting on their phone waiting for the meeting to start or waiting for a conversation to kick off. Instead, their phone could be in their pockets or in another room.
And they could actually be interacting
and you're
with
actually
each other.
Like, hey, so what are you up to tomorrow? Like, what do you got going on this weekend? Like, just the simple kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those little opportunities
to interact with the outside world.
Not really happening as much now.
What's weird, though, is those type of interactions are starting, I think, to feel foreign to people.
Yeah, that's why
sometimes.
It's why small talk is so annoying for so many people now. It's just like,
right?
I mean, granted, I don't like small talk anyway. I like the deep, heavy conversations with people. Granted, I also understand that small talk is necessary because you don't really understand boundaries at first. But I mean, you know, like.
Yeah, so it's really weird. I mean, I really like Simon Sinek. He did a session on impact theory, which is a podcast, which was so cool. It was done several years ago. Like several years ago.
Is this his 2016 talk on?
Possibly.
I don't know that I saw that one. I've seen a lot of his TED Talks. The guy's brilliant.
Yeah, so this is on an impact theory, so it's like an internet. It's like a YouTube thing. But it was really good. That's a really good podcast to watch. Impact Theory? I think it is.
Is it on Spotify?
No, I don't know.
Oh, look.
I know it's on YouTube. But it's... So I'm trying to figure out, like, how can you take time to be mindful and to de-stress and decompress without feeling completely guilty or feeling anxiety by the fact that you're separated from things. You know what I mean? Like I get anxiety for taking time to myself to do things, and then I don't do it, and then I just get overwhelmed and shut down and end up having to do it, but it's not effective. I'm not being effective with that time with myself because I allowed myself to get completely overwhelmed.
Well, let's talk about it for a second. Like, what are some things that you do to kind of get yourself back on track with mindfulness and try to de-stress on all that? What do you guys got?
So I was listening to stuff because Jacob is a very sweet man, but he snores. And if he falls asleep before I do, I'm screwed. So I have to.
Just half of the time she sleeps downstairs on the couch.
No, the reason why I sleep downstairs on the couch is because I can sleep at a slightly inclined position, which is nice because it's really comfortable. And I don't have to share the space with...
That's so weird.
I don't know how to
It's
explain
okay.
it. But fact is, I know when I'm sleeping on the couch, I'm stressed. Like, to me, that's a warning that I'm overstressed.
It's also probably because your body and your heart is just not used to it, because you're used to the comfy bed and you're used to sleeping right next to...
No. I do like sleeping next to him,
To this
but...
guy.
To that guy. But part of the issue is I know that if I stand up and go upstairs, like if I fall asleep on the couch and I stand up and I go upstairs and lay in bed, I won't be able to fall asleep again for hours.
Mm.
And so that's why, like, Jacob will be like, come on, go to bed. And I'm like, just leave me. I'm going to, like, if I move, I won't be able to get back into sleep.
Yeah.
And so I need to be able to go upstairs, like, and do that. But I've been so exhausted that when I come home, I sit down for like 5 minutes and I'm like, you know?
Yeah.
And that's because I'm not taking care of myself and I'm not being intentional with my self-care and everything. And I'm just getting overwhelmed. And I'm making decisions that continue to cause stress because I don't know. It's weird. But, like, I feel like that's a weird addiction to have.
It sucks, too, when you make those decisions, not because you're consciously making them. It's just the impulsive, like, natural reaction to go to.
It's like, shut down.
Yeah.
You're done. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, it has to deal with something to be creative and in creating something. So, like... And this is something I haven't done in a while, and I need to get back into it. And since I've deleted my apps on my phone, that'll definitely give me some some focus to get back into working on my second book. I know that writing for me and creating like characters and situations and things going on in other fictional characters' life for some reason is like really helpful for me. I found.
What about
breathing exercises work pretty well for me. The tappers, the bio tappers.
Oh yeah,
work
you've
pretty
been
well.
using those a lot.
Yeah, it's because I've been so freaking stressed out and high anxiety for so long, and now I'm just starting to be like, oh, that's why. And then like I figured it out, so now I'm feeling a lot better, not more calmer.
You haven't done music in a long time, and that's something I really wish you would do.
Yeah, that's true. Music definitely has helped, especially in song creation or just strumming and plucking and just feeling the groove, the rhythm, the rhyme. Get on up, it's bobsled time.
Okay. See, and I used to play the piano, but I haven't played the piano in years.
Yeah, well, it's also packed away into our
I know, but like
junk room.
The piano is very interesting because it required so much attention and focus. Like when we get home, we turn on the TV and then we'll sit and scroll through social media. It's like 2 screens going at once.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like we have to eliminate stressors on a lot of levels if we're going to be effective. And I noticed that anxiety, depression, and everything, it comes so much quicker with all those screens, all that. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Like, when Jacob spends a lot of time on screens, either playing his video game, doing streaming, doing podcasts, doing social media posts, whatever, like, I notice he starts getting super, super irritable unless he takes a significant chunk of time away from it. That's why it's so weird, but like going on dates to the grocery store is literally like
the funnest thing ever.
It kind of is, especially if Jacob has some medicine. But I mean, because we're fully present with each other, right? So that's.
And I have high anxiety when I go shopping. So if we're not shopping for what's on the list and we're just like, oh, look at this thing. Wouldn't this be kind of fun to have this thing? Oh, isn't this kind of cool?
He doesn't like to dream build.
Not in a grocery store, because you're around, a lot of times you're around with a lot of people. You know, you're crammed into those lanes. They call them lanes, but they're not really lanes.
The annoying little interactions when you're trying to get around somebody that has their cart right in front of the shit that you want.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the other thing. Like, I don't think anything's changed in our society except our tolerance level for strangers and people has decreased a great deal too.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? I've noticed that. You probably haven't noticed it because you're young.
Okay, so I will say I was at Walmart a couple of weeks ago, and I was looking in like the $5 movie bin because I have a DVD player.
Nice.
But
what
like
are those?
as I was looking in it, like there's this teenager that came up and stood right next to me, like in my bubble, like also looking at it. I'm just like, why are you so close to me? And I was so uncomfortable. I was like, get out of my bubble, bro. Like,
so you want to know something very interesting about that?
So close to me.
People from different areas of the United States have different ranges of bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to go back east to like New York, Chicago, whatever, people's personal bubble is not like that wide. Like, people can be in your space and stuff and it doesn't irritate you because you're constantly jammed in and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But the further west you go, or further out west where there's more space and everything, the personal bubble, it's like observable. You can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's why I struggle like in large crowds and stuff, because I grew up, one, as an only child and I never had to share space, but two, like in big wide spaces, so it's not that big of a deal. So
right.
But like when I went to London and when I went to Europe and like some of these highly concentrated, it was like whoosh, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, especially
Can I pause you guys for just a moment?
Yes.
All right. Hey guys, so it's about halfway through the show. Just want to let you guys know, hey, thank you so much for watching this video. It is obviously sponsored by viewers like you, so thank you. We just would like to encourage you to hit that thumbs up. Make sure to like and share on whatever platform you are on, and obviously follow. It definitely lets the algorithms know that you guys not only like it, but that it would probably be awesome for other people. So that definitely helps that out, and it's the best way to support us. So thank you guys so much.
Yes, and our crazy ramblings on stress and self-care and blah blah blah.
But
well,
it's also,
I'm sorry, you guys were in the middle of
finish-
thought,
let
so
him
let you
finish his
go.
thought.
Sorry, go ahead.
it's crazy because like at the ski resort that I was working at, there were people there that like would talk to you. The ski resort hires a lot of they call them J1s. They're they're foreign exchange kids. So they they come from this place hired a bunch of people from Latin America, and there were a lot of people that would just talk to you very closely, and it was like, whoa, my guy, like, take a few steps back. I can smell what you ate this morning.
Yeah, if I can smell your breakfast, you're too close.
Man, I wish it was like that everywhere. but
No, it's true.
Boundaries, my guy.
But it's weird. I am a person that likes my personal space.
Same.
I think it's definitely a lot different out in Asian cultures. I think especially in places like China and Japan, where people are literally like living on top of each other.
Go Google what buses look like in China.
Yeah,
or even
or
apartments.
a crosswalk.
Or, yeah,
like just walking like up and down the roads and stuff. It's very intense. And it was really interesting because I was listening to one of Joe Rogan's podcasts, and him and one of his comedian friends, they were recounting the time that they went to like China and Japan, and to notice that they literally have no personal space or bubble. Like people are literally like bumping into each other and pushing each other like in and moving people, like literally like touching each other. And like in the United States, people don't really do that, but in Asian culture, that's very common, which is really interesting.
That would bug me.
That would be really, I mean, I have a hard enough time being in, a crowded movie theater, going in and out of a movie when everybody's trying to get in or everybody's trying to get out, or being in a shopping center with a lot of people in it. That's why we don't shop on like more normal days or evenings, that's when mostly people go. We usually go on like Sundays, like in the afternoon, where like nobody's doing that because everybody's at church.
Bro, I did my grocery shopping a little while ago at like 9:00 at night. Oh, so
Money,
nice.
huh?
So nice. There
So
was
nice.
no one there. I was like,
Yeah, see, that's when the
like
last time
this.
Jacob and I went, and he had some medicine, and
I was riding the Green Dragon.
some giggle gas.
Some giggle gas.
It was more than giggle. It was nuts. And
Oh,
there
you
was only
guys.
one strange lady that was like, ow, ow, because he was
That's
being
weird.
all weird and creepy. Like he was being a creeper, like coming up and sniffing my hair behind me, and she like
I'm
saw
going
it.
like,
And I'm like,
baby, let me whisper
what
in
if
your
this
ear?
dude was a complete stranger and you just walked by and saw some guy being a total creeper? Would you like egg him on? That was weird.
Have you seen that video? That stinks.
no, I haven't.
Nice
seen
and
that one.
good.
Oh,
I don't know. I haven't been up on the latest TikTok videos because I haven't
know
been
where
on
I
it the
saw
last
it.
couple of days.
I
So
probably saw it on TikTok.
I'm getting much more restful sleep, and I'm actually falling asleep like normal now. It's actually pretty awesome.
I'm just going to bed on time.
That's smart. I would recommend it.
Taking medicine so I can fall asleep on time.
Mm.
yeah. Anyway, how long have we been going?
We're not there yet.
Are we there yet? I noticed, like,
I'll let you guys know. Like, I'm watching the time. Rianne's like, "Are you done already?"
I said all I had to say about the topic.
Well, what I do to de-stress usually has to do with keeping my hands busy. If I can do anything with my hands, then
Well, yeah. Stop it. Because you play guitar. You're a great guitarist.
He makes
thank you.
he makes snakes with Play-Doh.
What? No. Oh, gosh.
You ever made a snake out of Play-Doh or clay?
My Play-Doh snakes
You
usually
just
end up.
You roll it out on the table and
My Play-Doh snakes usually
No?
end up
Okay.
just looking like worms. No, but like anytime I can
the
do something,
entendres are real tonight.
anytime I can do something with my hands, like, Legos.
So expensive.
They are expensive. Like
Holy shit, they are so expensive.
Legos.
Like, why?
Legos. What the hell, man? Like, why does it
They've
cost me
taken off-
$50 to buy
It's
a
the damn
little mini Death Star?
It's
Right?
the damn Lego movie. They got
Yeah,
all
that's probably
excited
it.
about the Lego movie, and now this blah blah blah.
Lego movie.
I'm like, really? Is it really that expensive
I mean-
for like freaking plastic that like tears your feet up?
I mean, it's a damn good movie, man.
You know what they're doing now? People are actually finding, or they're trying to find people who have collected some of the Legos from like the 90s and 2000s, and they're actually like buying them and like holding them for a few years and flipping them, like on like eBay and stuff.
Oh,
Like people are like investing in Legos. It's wild.
Journaling. I normally don't, like, I never would journal. That's not really something that I do or did. It's not really a thing, but it's surprisingly therapeutic.
You know what? Journaling is one thing I did a lot of, and I haven't done it for a minute.
I really didn't expect, I didn't really start doing it until this year, but like once I did, it was like, wow, I did, like, something changed. I don't know what, but like there was something in my own self-fulfillment that felt like good. But I think that also has to do with, like, I feel like when I write something down, I really do mean it. So I don't know if that like solidifies a lot of the goals that I create, or if that.
Yeah. Well, and what happens with your mind when you actually take and handwrite, like there's a neurological connection that actually starts to happen. And
There's
so
the magic.
So, right, processing and stuff. That's why I say write down your goals, make it solid, make it clear. But like I used to journal a lot when I was a kid, but it was a lot of dark stuff, and maybe I'm afraid to dive in because there's a lot of, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh crap. Usually when I journal, it gets a little.
See, I write about write about stuff that I do, or like stuff that I want to do, and then I have like parts of my journal where I like talk about stuff that I wouldn't tell anybody. But it's like,
I think for some people, journaling is really good. I don't want to say hate. I don't like using that word, but journaling, as far as like, you know, this is how my day is, or hey, this is what I want to do. It seriously bugs me. But I have found that if I'm really in that point where I'm like so frustrated, I'm like angry, like writing it out and burning it definitely helps for sure. Because it's like, I can't, like, if I did a verbal like account of my thoughts and feelings while I'm absolutely angry to somebody, it would not go well.
So I mean, like, but I don't know, maybe the whole journaling thing works for me because I don't have a therapist at the moment.
Okay,
so, like,
I've actually had a couple of therapists in my adulthood, and it's really hard to find a therapist that works for you. Like,
that, and they're so damn expensive. Like,
oh my goodness, can you
believe how expensive they are?
I had one therapist that actually made my ODD worse. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he try aversion therapy or something, or what?
No, I only had a couple sessions with him, but like a lot of like the perspectives that he helped me with had to do with like the whole, you are the person that's in control, and that just kind of empowered me even more as a teenager. I was
shit.
Because that's the perspective that I took.
Gotcha.
And because he always only ever got my side, he never got my parents' side. So like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always really hard. I know that's like a really complicated thing for therapists too, is to like, they don't see the big picture. They just see what the one person is seeing. So it's really hard to judge where they're being rational and when they're not. But
right.
Yeah.
And especially if you get somebody who's really articulate and persuasive, they can
persuade you to do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, we went back to try to do some of this, that kind of stuff, to work through some things, and we found out how much it was going to cost us. Like, we thought it was going to be like $50 a session. But let's talk about how much they were going to charge us, which was $150. So if we were doing that, let's say both of us were doing it 2 times a week, right? Once for each of us, then once together, right? So we'll times that by 3. Where's the times button? By 3. And then we're going to do that 4 times a week, right? So it's
not
basically
4 times a week, 4 times a
$1,800.
So it is expensive, but at the same time,
that's well over our mortgage. Like well over our mortgage.
Right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But at the same time, if you're a therapist, sitting down and talking to people and hearing about people's problems and taking that and being in that energy all day long is very taxing and hard. And yes, you learn techniques to block and do all that sort of stuff.
There's a reason
but
why they get paid so much.
It's a hard job. It takes a toll on you. And they do need to be compensated for that. Because here, I'm sitting here thinking it's so depressing on how little our advocates get paid in comparison, because they deal with hard shit, right? Like they hear hard stories all the time.
Oh yeah.
But people don't value that. They value sneakers and like purses and you know what I mean? So that it's hard.
Louis Vuitton.
It sucks too because there's so many mental health places here in Cedar City. There's a lot of residential treatment centers. The boarding school that I used to work at, the counseling offices. Yet a lot of their employees that work there do not get compensated what they deserve, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. Like it's like
it is not like. And here's the other thing: Utah has the least amount of restrictions on those type of programs, and that's why it's like a mecca. Like people love to start these non-residential or even residential treatment centers in Utah,
right?
For youth and kids for troubled stuff. I mean, because there's not a ton of restrictions, but then
there should be.
Labor is like cheap, so to speak, and the people who own these type of things, they make bank. They make a lot of money. But that's what bothers me. Like the disparity is.
But they make a lot of money out of it, like the owners.
Yeah, they
do make a.
They make a ton of money, but they don't compensate the people who are actually there, working with them on a day, working with these kids on a day-to-day basis. They need to be compensated for their time much more than the person who owns.
Yeah,
the
they
program.
shouldn't be getting paid, for the same amount for or less for flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Well, and that's the hard thing is like we're competing to keep shelter staff. It's not like the best paying job in Cedar City, but how can we compete? Like here, come work at our emergency shelter where you're going to deal with people who have experienced severe trauma and have severe mental health issues, because they've just come out of a very traumatic issue or situation.
Right.
I had to clean up self-harm cuts pretty frequently. So.
See?
Yeah.
Like they've had to deal with naloxone. They've had to administer naloxone and stuff. And yet we can't compete with like Del Taco, who's hiring people for their grave shift at $18 an hour.
Yeah. Wow.
Right. Like, and I'm sorry, but if it was get paid $18 to go like make some food and then be able to go home,
roll some burritos and instead of,
or like go to work for peanuts and expose myself to secondary trauma on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah.
And then feel the effects of it even after I go home. What would you choose?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's really hard. Our values our value as a society is completely like freaked up. Well, it's
we know.
Screwed up.
Yeah.
And this is where people are like, you're not conservative. Look at how you're talking. You're talking like a damn blah, blah, blah. I can be like moderate.
You can be a free-spirited conservative.
Yeah, it's like I'm moderate. Like I'm anyway. But I don't think it's the government's job to mandate those wages. I think it's I don't know.
The people who freaking run the place.
Yeah.
And are the ones that say what the rules and like the do's and don'ts are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard because the government steps in and put regulations on things. Like that's why unions exist and all that. But like freaking Amazon, I'm sorry, but they treat their employees like shit. And Amazon wouldn't work if it weren't for the employees and the pickers and the people who keep it going, right?
Like, huge facilities, like multiple football fields, like square foot wise.
So,
multiple levels.
I think we have so many things backwards as a society on what we value. And
we value you working into the ground.
yeah.
We agree, Shinra. Government equal bad.
Large government.
Large government. Yeah.
Federal government. It can all go.
Well, it definitely needs to be reduced for sure.
It needs to go back to what it was intended for, which is to protect.
Agree. We're kind of
to
in
serve
this
and protect.
Really weird. We're in this very wishy-washy place where businesses now are creating laws, and pharmaceutical companies are creating drugs, and they're not being properly vetted or tested. They're all the testing is now being done by the pharmaceutical companies instead of
is this FDA approved?
Doesn't even matter anymore because the FDA is not doing their job.
The FDA is doing their job for the freaking pharmaceutical.
Yeah,
anyway,
they're getting paid.
I see
through
now.
lobbying. But anyway.
This conversation right here is starting to cause me stress. So I'm just gonna take it down. Take it down.
Yeah.
Take it down real low. Take it down.
Yeah, I think.
Get it.
Yeah, I think what I would like. What are your final thoughts? Like definitely find out what centers you or calms you.
Be a lover, not a fighter.
Be a lover, not
Amen.
a fighter.
I think we need to get back into the hippie stage. Free love, marijuana, all that for everybody. I'm just kidding. I really am a hippie at heart.
It's because you spend too much time with me.
Yeah.
You're rubbing off on us a little bit, Mr. Malachi.
Or are we rubbing off on you?
Or do we have the kind of chemistry where we can be ourselves in front of each other? And
Like
that's the kind of
attracts
friendship
like.
we have.
Like
Yeah.
attracts like.
So, yeah.
Final thoughts, Malachi.
Honestly, just don't spend as much time in front of a screen if you can. Spend your time outside. Go
Talk with people, right? Hang out with people.
Spend your time, as much time as you can, with the people that you love. Spend as much time as you can outside.
Start a podcast.
There's that too, yeah.
Journal.
Yeah. Write stuff down. If you got shit going on, talk to somebody about it.
Yeah.
And hopefully
I'll put up my number and you can text me and we'll talk about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Actually, no, I won't put my number up
His
there.
DMs are open.
But come on the YouTube channel. I'll let you know.
The thought was nice.
Oh, that was sweet of you.
Logistically, might be a nightmare, but
Yeah.
I think also having good people in your life, I'm super grateful for a husband.
Oh, I'm just a husband? Just kidding.
Dude, I'm
she's
trying to be
super grateful
sentimental.
for
Would you
the
just be
husband.
quiet?
I'm glad I have a husband.
I'm glad I have a husband. If you would let me finish my thought.
Oh, were you completing that thought?
I was trying to,
My
but you interrupted
apologies.
me. Gosh. I'm grateful to have a husband who is willing to learn and make adjustments, because how he deals with things is different than how I deal with things, and he's willing to learn how I deal with things so he can support me, and vice versa. That's really important. And I think that's the purpose in having a partnership and being in a partnership and having another person that you commit to for the rest of your life, because there's growth that happens, right?
Right.
But also, I will say, I don't think I don't know. If I didn't have Jacob's support and all that stuff, I don't think I would have made it through the last 2 years.
It was a rough couple of years for sure.
A lot of it was self-induced sometimes, but a lot of it was external.
Also, understand that the only person in your life that can make you happy is you.
Exactly.
You guys, would you say that you add to your happiness, but you don't necessarily
I think it depends on the day. Most of the time we do add to our happiness. Every once in a while we
he
do.
also amplifies to my stress.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at is nobody can make you happy. That's your job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you can
Well-
have people around you that will enhance
and
your
assist,
living.
yeah, but not.
So-
They can't make you happy. There's
And
no.
you
There's
wanna-
no forcing you to do anything.
You
Well,
want to
and
make
it's
sure
a
that
choice.
those people around you bring out your best sense of self.
Yeah. Amen.
Yes.
I like that. And if you want things to change in your life, you're gonna have to change things in your life. You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing.
Well, you can't keep doing the same things and expect different results. That's literally the definition of insanity.
That's
Insanity.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
So, did we want to do our announcement at the end here?
what announcement?
We're getting married.
I got a new brother.
Wait, what?
Just ask your mom in
I
9 months.
have no idea what the crap is happening right now.
Yeah, you know how there's sister wives? There's also brother husbands.
Oh,
Oh, did we not talk about that? Oh, I guess.
Okay,
I'm just
I
kidding.
I'm sorry.
wasn't in this conversation.
I'm sorry.
Totally
I had
kidding,
to.
you guys.
I
Totally
just
kidding, you
had to throw
guys.
that out.
I'm
No.
so confused.
But the announcement that we were going to make, we probably should have done at the beginning, but you can now find our podcast over at anchor.fm and on Spotify.com.
Spotify.
We are now on Spotify and Anchor, so you can also catch the episodes there. They usually are up a day or two after we do our live one, so obviously definitely make sure that you're liked, followed, subscribed, all that fun stuff. Make sure your notifications are turned on. That way you do not miss a content release. You can also catch some wonderful games live with myself Monday through Thursday. In addition to our podcast, our podcast is streamed every Monday between 6 and 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then we're also doing the live stream Monday through Thursday, playing games with JayReims. We're playing some Diablo over on the live stream as well between 9 and 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So thank you guys so much for watching. And from our family to yours, good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello everyone, JayReims with the Periodic Review. Today's video is sponsored by viewers like you, so thank you. Hopefully we've earned your subscription today, so don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit that damn bell to turn on your notifications so you don't miss a content release. Check out the video links at the end of every video to view our previous content, as well as visit the description section for more links to enjoy. Thank you so much for watching.